What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to teach you about the most important parts of the stock market that you need to know about. So this is going to be part one of a multitude of videos that are going to be all about the stock market and everything that you need to know. I'm making this video for the channel, of course, for you guys to learn, but I'm also making it for a friend named Swift who is diving into investments for his first time. I'm going to teach you things that I was never taught in school. So I went to high school, graduated high school, graduated college with an undergrad in finance and accounting and with a master's degree in accounting. And I was never taught any of this stuff. I was taught some of the fundamentals, but not all of it, how to invest. So where I learned how to invest was from my mentors, people who are worth 5, 10, 50, 60 million dollars. I learned it from family and friends. But most importantly, I learned by doing research on my own. So why you guys should listen to me is because I've been investing for the past couple of years. I've been learning about it. And this past year, once I graduated college, and I just started getting income from my job, I made around $5,000 passively. I'm not talking about day trading, swing trading, completely passively. So that's what we're going to teach you guys about today. So the first place that we're going to start is the history of the stock market. This is important to understand why the stock market is what it is. So the stock market first formed in 1791. This is when the New York Stock Exchange was created. So what the New York Stock Exchange was in 1791 is it was a lot of people who were looking to invest money to make money off of businesses' performance. So what they had is they had a big trading center. They had a wide open area. Representatives would be there from a company. Say this was somebody from Apple, who was a publicly traded company, and they had shares they wanted to sell to an individual, and he had $100 that he could buy shares at actual trading for. Now what happens today is it is mostly electronic. So instead of you going to New York, and trading with somebody, you will go online and you will trade what's called a brokerage, and we'll get into that later in some other videos. I'm going to start with the fundamentals here. So what we're going to first talk about are the companies that are on the stock market. So on the stock market is included of all publicly traded companies. So there's two types of companies that you need to know about. And the first type is going to be public, and there is going to be private companies. So publicly traded companies, what that means is that they're being traded on some type of exchange. Whether it's a New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, things like that. They are selling shares. And like I said, shares are pieces of a company. So I am personally invested in Apple. I have a couple $1,000s in Apple, and I own a percentage of that business. So these public companies are giving a certain percentage of their ownership up. So say they're giving away shares, they're selling shares, what I should say, because they wouldn't often give away shares. So that's what makes up the business. So then when you buy a share in the stock market, or you buy a stock in the stock market, you're actually buying a piece of a public company. So you're getting some of their profits off of their performance. So that's public. That's all the companies on New York Stock Exchange. Apple, Microsoft, Micron Technologies, AMD, a lot of different ones. Those are public companies. Private companies are like mom and pop shops, or even like big companies that aren't traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So if you think about that, think about like a restaurant that's not a chain restaurant. Think about, schools, things like that, things that are basically business or make revenues or make profits, but they are owned by somebody. They aren't traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Not everybody can go out and buy a piece of that. So I think that's the most important thing that you need to learn so far, a little bit about the stock market and why it's formed. So this is going to wrap up part one. Look out for part two coming out tomorrow. That's going to be all about financial statements and what you need to know, and just giving you guys a baseline of what the stock market is. If you guys have any questions, go down in the comments and type it in. I'll make sure I'll reply. So like and subscribe, and see you guys in part two.